Grand Rising, everyone. Grand Rising. Grand Rising. I hadn't quite had my coffee yet this morning, but you know, uh, I don't know what we're gonna get into today. Um, on this wonderful Wednesday, um, I went to the Jane Avenue community meeting on Monday, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about that. And a lot of other stuff that's going on. Mm, well, it was productive. They got a lot of different things going on here in the city. Of course, we already know that they've already confirmed um, Ms. Brackney as the new chief of police, and they gave her a salary. I think it was like $150, $150,000 a year, whatever. And then they came back with some contract, with some 3-year contract term, and some council members is feeling a little different about it. Um, but but anyway, I'm kind of going back and forth. But the Jane Avenue meeting was productive. We talked about the water. We talked about you know she was President Sakia Summers was talking about had you know was getting trying to get a staff together for the Jane Avenue community. You know, people that's handling different aspects of the community. Fundraisers, um, advocacy for blight. She wants some people that's advocating for the police. Uh, it's a lot of different. She had a lot of different things but I elected. It was one of communications. I elected to do communications. That's kind of why I kind of like wanted to. That's why I kind of do these videos. I know I hadn't done that in a while, but I will be back on my grind starting today here at the 601 Network. I'm sorry everybody that's viewing this video. I'm sorry that I ain't been doing my thing. I got my own set of issues, so I got my own life, and everything like that, and life be life, and so we gotta keep moving on and doing what we gotta do in order to to keep ourselves and keep the ball rolling and everything like that, with our lives. So, but once again, the Jane Avenue meeting was very, very productive. Councilman Harley was there, and I think it was like one of the one of the judges was there. He's running for re-election and everything. Um, board of director, board of supervisor, excuse me, board of supervisor Deborah Dixon and her staff, they were there, and they made some announcements, and those announcements was about, we're going to be having Jane Avenue going to be doing a cleanup come this Saturday. Yeah, I definitely want to touch on that. They're going to be doing a cleanup this Saturday, and Deborah Dixon's donating a dumpster. So everybody get out there, and if you're not even from the area, Jackson is Jackson. Doesn't matter where you're from. So I kind of want to put out that information, and they're going to remain. They're going to keep the voting over at the police precinct. They're not going to put it back over at the community center anymore. So which I don't agree with that, but I just think I'm gonna give you my opinion. I just think that they need to fix that community. We need to fix that community center up. I understand that there is no funds I'm just trying to figure out where the funds where we can get grants or something like that, so we can maneuver and getting that community center fixed up. Congratulations to Georgetown. Georgetown, their new community center. Big ups to them. They they got a new community center, and I'm glad I'm glad for them. And everything like that. I will one of these days be going over there and visiting that community center, because it's and and Dr. Rochelle Brackney is going to be over at these different doing these community meetings, hosting, just showing her face and everything, talking about some of the nuances that she's going to be trying to implement here in the city of Jackson, which I think is a good thing, because it's a good thing because when Jackson need a new makeover. Let's say that, far as deterring crime and getting a handle on crime and blight and all that kind of jazz. So Jackson definitely needs a makeover. That's a fact. And but yeah, Dr. Rochelle Brackney's doing she seems to be a straight up person, and I just like I said, and I have all the best wishes for that sister, because it's not easy, retiring and coming out of retirement and doing something, extreme like this, as far as taking on a city, especially a city like Jackson, Mississippi. It's not easy. It's not a easy job. It's not a cakewalk. So, but anyway, so, but we gotta, it's a plethora of things that's going on here in the city of Jackson that that needs to be addressed. I was looking at the city council. The last city council was last week, and we, it was talking about the deadlines for the Jackson water. Kenneth Stokes got ticked off, and they know what he's talking about. They know what he's talking about. That man is not nowhere stupid. They be trying to play him like he's senile, but he's not. Kenneth Stokes has been in the game too long for them to be trying to pull some wool. So, and people need to stop, dismissing him, because he's the guy. They thought he probably got, he's getting dementia or something. Come on, man. That man good. He good. And he knows what he's talking about. And don't look over him like grass. So, but Kenneth Stokes is, he was talking about, these deadlines and things like that for them to, and I really hope that they don't come up with this board they've been talking about. I really don't. I really hope that's not the only option. And I hope that's not the finalized, because according to what President Summers was saying, that was introduced in the bill, in the legislation. Because she's a legislator. And sometimes she be downtown, in those sessions, and she brought that stuff back, and she be talking about what be going on. But I don't understand. Young folks, we need to get out. Y'all need to get out there and start going to these meetings, so you can really see what's going on, and you need to be looking at it from a local standpoint. Yeah, I know that there's a war going on in Iran, and I know that between Israel and the United States and Iran, and I understand that. And and believe me, when I tell you, it's not good because China getting involved now. China gonna want them getting involved. They already making statements. So, but nevertheless, they, young people here in the city of Jackson need to be dealing with the politics from the local standpoint. If you don't know what's going on in your neighborhood locally, what's directly affecting you or potentially could be affecting you, then it's no need to show some concern with what's going on up there in Washington, D.C. Because whatever affects that happens here, Washington hear you. And believe me, they will see you coming. If they see Jackson, Mississippi and their representatives coming, legislations and things like that being passed, they're going to raise an eyebrow. So you got to know what's going on in your community. And I'm speaking to everybody that reviews this video. Because it's utterly important to understand what is going on in the local. I'm telling you, they got, okay, as you know, Jackson Water got this thing, and the federal government came and took it over, right? But now it's going to be sort of taken over by the state. In the city of Jackson they have a voice, but they don't have a big voice. Byram, Mississippi, and Ridgeland, Mississippi. They're going to be on this particular board. They ain't got a dog in this fight. They don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just going to keep it a buck. They won't even let the buses come over there into their cities. They don't have a dog in this fight. And they do everything to benefit them. They'll come and try to impede in Jackson just so it can benefit their residents. When they have chases, they're not in direct communication with JPD. I mean, it's sick. But then when they want something, they want to do something that's going to benefit them, far as taking land or something like that, or trying to annex the right of ways and things of that nature. They be trying to kiss Jackson's tail. And it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, you won't even let no buses come to your cities. You won't even let the buses come to you. You want to negotiate something with the buses. Maybe they could put a terminal over there. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Clinton too. Clinton ain't gonna do nothing. Pearl ain't gonna do nothing unless it's gonna benefit them. Now they talking about with this Pearl River thing. Oh yeah, we could talk about that. That's crazy. They talk about this Pearl River thing. Okay, so they got this Pearl River thing where they're trying to reconstruct it and all that kind of stuff and this, that, whatever. But they should have been did that. See, that's why I said something's coming down that pipeline. That's why they doing it. I don't know. I think 3 things can be true at one time. I know that data center is one of them. And I don't want to speculate, but I think that they're trying to implement housing, more housing. And they're trying to make us possible casinos. Possible casinos. because these data centers are gonna create a lot of jobs. Restaurants. Oh man, it's gonna be big. So I mean, and the mayor and the mayor of Jackson and the mayor of Pearl, they collaborating on this. I ain't never seen that happen ever. I, I didn't I didn't see that when I could see. That's crazy. I ain't never seen the two mayors get together. They always they wasn't at each other's throats, but I mean, it was always never no. It was never no publicized communication. So, but it remains to be seen. It remains to be seen. You guys gonna have to. I'm telling you, there's gonna be something coming down that pipeline with that Pearl River. That Pearl River is gonna be big. Whatever it's gonna be, it's gonna be big. Whatever's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, and it's gonna be big. So, but and it was talking about and like I said, it's a lot going on, here, and in here in the city of Jackson. But that, and I just wonder I'm just kind of thinking about the ripple effects that a lot of these events is going to create. What kind of ripple effects? You know what I'm saying? That we know the Metro Center. I hadn't heard anything else about the Metro Center. I had no updates. But when I do get some updates, you will be first one to know about it. Trying to see what else, other updates that I'm just kind of like trying to skim it through. Yeah, but yeah, they talking about paving the streets. Okay, well, let that materialize. Fixing the bridges. We got a few bridges in West Jackson that they're working on, that they're trying to fix. I think it's the one I know one over on I think it's Dixon Road, and there's another one right over here in this area, in the area where I live, where they have South Drive. It's a bridge that they're trying to complete. So it remains to be seen. We see what happens. It's a lot of different things that's gonna be going on. But so like I said, I hope the board of supervisors and everybody still doing what they need to do in order to keep this city moving forward. But oh yeah, one more thing. Yeah, the city's in the deficit. It's crazy. The city is in a budget deficit. Yeah, we know why. Y'all know why. Don't play. Y'all know why. Y'all know why. I'm just gonna keep it a buck here. Y'all know why the city's in the deficit. And they talking about we got to find money. Come on, man. Who you think we is? Who they think? I mean, come on. The citizens is not a fool. You got all that stuff contracted. Money, y'all should have money. Y'all got a bunch of contracts. The Jackson sewer, there's no Jackson sewer. All that stuff contracted. If that thing set at a certain budget, and that come on, it don't absorb that. The garbage don't absorb that. And then y'all constantly saying we're paying J-Train out of this fund, J-Train out of this fund, Richard's Disposal out of this fund. We're paying, y'all got the money to pay them. We're paying Entergy out of that fund. We're paying this technology company out of that fund. We're paying that technology company out of these. I mean, come on. And the fire department can't even hardly get what they need. But y'all are real quick to pay the funds that y'all need to pay. Y'all so quick. Y'all gonna pay that. And energy, they charging the city out the yin yang, and the city, and a lot of places in the city they don't even have any street lights. But you charging them for the same thing. What that mean? You ain't putting it on the meter, but you giving them a charge. That's your bill. That's your bill. I ain't feeling that. I ain't feeling, and it's crazy. It's crazy. But that's your bill, and you can't. And here you got neighborhoods, city lights is out, and Entergy is not, and they're not even. Nobody's addressing it. Citizens call, but yet these command, but that Board of Supervisors got a command center. City of Jackson got a command center. Everybody want to give away ring door cameras and all that kind of jazz. Connect to the command center, but yet your lighting sucks, and your lighting sucks. Come on, make that make sense. What's that about? I mean, come on. So, I hope the mayor and the city council come to some type of consensus with Entergy and decide what they're gonna do, because they're robbing the city, and that's a fact. I'm just gonna keep it on. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. They robbing the city, and ain't nobody saying a damn word. Man, talking about some cities somewhere else decided to sue Entergy, this, that, whatever. I heard that. Come on, man. I'm not deaf, but I'm like, okay, where are we on that? Is the city of Jackson going to move in that direction? Because it's clear, I'm quite sure they're probably going to have to take do some type of poll. Well, it's not a poll, but they're going to have to do some extensive research with people coming in and logging in locating where those outages are, and I'm quite sure they get a whole tally up of where those outages are, and then they can present it to this, city attorney or whatever, and they can produce a case. You see, and but the first thing you need to do is, once you get a count where those outages are, you need to present it to Entergy and see if Entergy is going to fix those outages, because I believe that everybody deserves an opportunity to correct their mistakes. Everybody, even corporations. And if they don't make those, you gotta make a presentment. If you don't make that presentment, how are they gonna know? You gotta make a presentment and give them a list, and then let them know they got a deadline. First of all, they need to respond. That's first of all, they need to respond to the letter. And once they respond to that letter, your letter of intent, then the ball's roll. The ball rolling. And that's the key. That's one of the key points to getting the ball rolling on this. You just can't say, well, we're just going to sue them. No, of course not. We're not, come on, anybody, come on. You got to be just that damn stupid. You got to make a presentment and give them an opportunity to correct their mistakes. And once they correct the mistakes, there's no need to go to court to get this thing fixed. But the city got to do their due diligence. They have to do their due diligence in getting the and getting a full account of every outages that's going on here in the city of Jackson. And once they do that, and then they make their present, then they make their presentment to Entergy. Okay, let's not rush this and take this to court real quick. Let's give these people an opportunity, right? They don't give them an opportunity. If they give them an opportunity and they don't do it, then they look here. We're gonna take this to the next level. Send them let another letter say, look, listen, you guys did not meet your obligations, and fulfill the deadlines to these outages. Okay, so now we're gonna take it to the next level. Or if they don't like respond at all, it's like, but their business, I'm quite sure they will. Their corporation, they're gonna respond. It's their duty to respond. It's their duty to respond, so. But all that remains to be seen. It remains to be seen when it comes down to this city of Jackson. Because I'm telling you, they got something going on. They got something going on. Yeah. So, but yeah, so, anyway, we're just gonna see what happens. We're just gonna see what happens. And they talking about putting up these cameras. So we're gonna see what happens with that too. Because crime needs to be deterred. Crime needs to be deterred. These animals and all this kind of stuff. All this stuff they need to do something with these dogs and all this stuff in these streets, and saying it's creating problems. So, but nevertheless, yeah. So, oh boy, yeah. I'm gonna get a chance to get down there to the city of Jackson one of these days. I mean, to the city council one of these days, because I really want to get this J-Tran thing put out there. In fact, we got a J-Tran meeting today, and so I'm gonna come out. I'll be back. I gotta go out today and do some stuff. Hopefully, we'll be back in time for that, and for that J-Tran meeting, and we're gonna have that J-Tran meeting today. So we're gonna, so see what they're talking about, and we're gonna try to make some things happen, in that area. But I'm gonna tell you something today. If there is any type of stagnation in the city of Jackson, it's gonna create. Houston, we're gonna have a problem. We're gonna have a problem. So, I just don't. I really believe that the J-Tran busing system could be better. They could at least have a damn shuttle go out there to the airport. And speaking on the airport, man, they're still talking about that takeover. The state taking over the airport, not fixing escalators and elevators and things like that. This is what money. What happens when? This is what happens when money is involved. When the Jackson Airport was getting a $2 million surplus, that's when them suckers came in. But if they suckered them suckers up for failing, they wouldn't have said a word. They would have been trying to take over that airport. Well, there's two sides to a story. I'm going to tell you like this. I'm going to say it like this. I want to know. I want to look at that. I really would like to look at their financial reports. Because what's on that mainstream news ain't being reported. There might be something going on with that airport. Some money being mismanaged. Because if there was a $2 million surplus, what is it now? And if there was, why the elevators and escalators wasn't fixed? That's what that money's supposed to be for. Why wasn't it budgeted for that? It's something else going on behind the scenes that they're not talking about. But I do know that. They're just talking about the immediate thing that they're trying to do a takeover for this, that, this, and this. So, but what does the financial report say? I'm really, you need to really pay attention to that. See, it's not what they do say. You got to look at what they're not saying. Come on, Jackson, talk to me. Leave me a comment. I really would like to hear from you. It's not what they're saying. It's what they're not saying. So, but nevertheless, but I was talking about that JTRAN. At least they could take a shuttle out there. You know, if whatever bus, if you're on paratransit or you're on the regular bus, there should be a route that would take you maybe downtown. Downtown could be the point. There could be the shuttle bus downtown where they at the Union Station where all the buses meet at. That could be a bus where the shuttle bus come at a certain times. Where the shuttle bus is. And everybody in all points, everybody that takes that bus or paratransit meet right there downtown and take the bus and take that shuttle bus to the airport. Everybody going to the airport. Everybody get on board. Simple. You know, from wherever you live in the city of Jackson, downtown, you can take the bus. You know, get your, you know, if you got your luggage, whatever, or if you're going out there to work. Let's see, if you're going to work out there, you know, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you go out there, you know, and everybody don't drive. Let's say, for example, if I had gotten an opportunity to go out to the airport to work out there, okay, I don't drive. So what does that mean for me? What does that mean for the people who don't drive? It doesn't necessarily me because I'm disabled, but what is it for people that's not disabled and they don't drive and they got to get to work? You got Uber, they're taking Ubers and Lyfts and private drivers. That's costly. So that's one to think about. One thing about Jackson. Just one to think about. I just want to. Yeah, but I want y'all to leave me a comment on that because, yo, that's something that really needs to be really talked about and discussed. And I don't know if I'm going to discuss that in the meeting today, but I think I am because it's going to be on the record. You follow me? It's going to be on record. It's going to be on record. Somebody's not going to fall on a deaf ear. So I just may, you know, bring that up in the meeting because that's important. That's important. And it's beneficial to the residents of Jackson. Yeah, so. But I'm finna get off here, yo. I want to thank y'all for listening and everything, and watching and everything. I just wanted to kind of talk about this for a minute, man, and kind of, kind of like, give my opinions and stuff and views on these things because, it's a lot going on, and I just want to, touch the people that really touch the people that really don't know. A lot of you citizens, a lot of the citizens of Jackson, you don't know, what's going on, and I just want to kind of put it out there, so. But anyway, I'll be going tomorrow and everything, so, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow, and maybe there'll be something new that we could talk about, discuss. I'll be looking around and everything, and I'll keep y'all up to date on a lot of different things. Until then, we'll talk to y'all soon.